Good afternoon. This is Wilhelmina Ford, the seller's marketing consultant and mandate of the gold miner produced in West Africa. West Africa is a huge gold deposit and diamond deposit. Now, I represent sellers and I do handle the marketing and I do explain to you in front of you live video via YouTube. I'm going to upload this on YouTube so that you will see what are you looking for. Now, I'm sure you are looking for gold. I'm sure you've been searching for gold for so many months or for a year, and you've been frustrated because gold will not come to you. Last night, I had a conference live via Skype. When the buyer come to me, I request the buyer to open his camera because I want to see it. We are now in the internet superhighway. We can do business live video conference. Now this live full corporate offer on buying gold and diamond. Tell me what are you looking for, because gold has many uses. Gold either can make into gold coins, jewelry, mobile phone, medical uses, or gold bullion, and so forth. So there is a category that you are looking for. You are a gold trader, you buy and sell and get the profit. Now this video is for everyone, either you are a broker or buyer's mandate or real buyer. Now, I introduced this method. I patterned the way we Australians selling products online. We sell properties online, we buy groceries online, we buy funeral arrangement online. Everything is online. Africa is behind. Now, I was invited to come to West Africa by my seller in order for them to see me on how I could help them, because I have experience in selling products. Whether you buy and sell, exactly the same, you have to pay. Whether you buy a mobile phone, you go to the store, you look at the phone, you pay for it. Or if you buy groceries, you window shop on the shelf, you pick up the groceries and then you go to the counter, you pay. Buying gold has no difference. You travel, you send a letter of intention to purchase, we will invite you to come to the ground. We will invite you to come to Mali. I'll invite you to come to Ghana, Sierra Leone, so I'm the one who will validate you. My seller will wait for me to say yes or no whether you are really a buyer or not. Now the gold, you are buying unrefined gold. You are buying 22 carats, 0.4 carats, and 95 purity or 96 purity. The gold can, in every country in Africa, gold is 23 or 24 or 22 carats. So you need to tell me on your letter of intention that you are securing gold to buy, to make a jewelry. You are securing gold to make into the industrial spare parts. You are securing gold to make into investment, which is you're going to make into gold bullion as an investment, right? So then we would know how much we're gonna give you when we smelt the dust gold. Dust gold can smelt into bars. This is the dust gold. Okay. This is the dust gold. This is the dust gold that you need. So when you come, we will measure on how many kilos you need. So we have available bars already. In Mali, we have tons of gold. Mali is the third largest gold producer in West Africa. In Cameroon, it's high purity as well. It's a land of plenty. In Ghana, the second largest gold producer. The first gold producer is South Africa. But you wouldn't be able to get gold because once the gold mine and is smelted into bar, immediately they're gonna sell it to the bank because bank needs gold. This is how you're gonna smelt when you buy gold on the ground, right? This is the smelting, right? This is the dust gold. This one here, the dust gold, and this is the bar. So they're gonna smelt the dust gold into bar because some country would not accept dust gold because of September 11. So this is the dust gold you are buying, right? So we will measure it. We will smelt it into bar, 1,000 kilograms in one bar. So now this is now the bar. This one here, the bar. Okay? I'm just giving you the picture so that you will understand. Right. Now in Mali, there are 4,000 members, 4,500. So this is the gold. See the man holding the gold. It's already been smelted. Right. So you need to tell us on your letter of intention how many quantity you need so that we can measure and reserve your order. So the letter of intention addressed to Wilhelmina first because I'm the one who handled the marketing. So when you send me a letter of intention on your company letterhead stating how many quantity, what purity that you are looking for, which country the gold will be refined, and mode of payment. That is the most important. Now, everyone say, I want to buy gold, no upfront fee. Wrong. So therefore, you are not a buyer. You are going to launder. You know what is meaning money laundering? Money laundering is like this. You send the money to a person and then transfer to other person. That's called launder. In gold, exactly the same. You buy and then you ask from the seller, no upfront fee, and then when the gold arrives to your destination, you resell it to the refinery. That is called laundering. So there are so many crook buyers on the ground, which I was there when I went to West Africa. You need to have an export documentation. Do not travel if you don't have capital, because no seller will give his gold for nothing. You have to pay for it. There is no upfront fee, right? You need to pay. When you travel, you bring a gold analyzer. You spend money to buy to your country. You can buy online the gold analyzer in order for you to double check before you pay bank to bank. Because the local refinery, they will only assay the gold on your request in order to give you the carats and the purity. So you cannot just guarantee. So when you assay the gold to a local refinery, you pay $50 per kilo. When you re-smelted it, the local refinery will charge you $100 per kilo. So because you are an applicant, the refinery will charge you. You have to pay the cost of assay to the refinery, nothing to do with the seller. The seller will bring the gold to the refinery in order to taste in front of you. Then you will be given a report, an assay report, before you pay. Right. So beforehand, before you travel, we do the contract. You send us a letter of intention, specify your needs, how many quantity, the mode of payment, which refinery you are going to bring the gold. Either you're going to hand carry, or we're going to ship it to you. So there is export documentation to be needed. After the assay, you make an initial holding deposit in order for the seller to declare to his government to pay taxes. So for example, on 20 kilos, you want a CIF, we will give you a CIF, but you pay the 7 kilos down payment, your commitment. The 13 kilos, you pay after final assay. Okay? So, the 7 kilos belong to you, but the 13 kilos doesn't belong to you yet. So you pay the 7 kilos in order for the seller to believe that you are a buyer, in order for the seller to declare to his government that he is going to export the gold to you. So the seller will pay his government taxes. You are not paying taxes. I removed that. I told my seller, do not ask the buyer taxes. So our price is tax inclusive, LME, less 10%, maximum of 11%. It depends on what carats you're looking for. That is why you have to specify on your letter of intent that you're buying gold to make into jewelry. You are buying gold to make into medical uses, because there is the price is different, right? If you are making medical uses, you only need 18 carats, right? So the 18 carats we can give you 29,700 on 18 carats. If you're looking for 22 carats, of course, our price is 36,000 as today's price. Okay? So if you're looking for 24 carats, of course, our price is 38,700. So when you resell it, you get money. So this is buy and sell. Now, if you are dealing with so many brokers, of course, you have to pay the buyer's mandate. My seller is paying for my work. That is why I explain live video conference. Now, if you are the buyer, you are scared. You don't need a broker. You don't need floating around LinkedIn to Facebook looking for gold. We are now on the modern technology. Internet is a superhighway. So you need Wilhelmina. I will travel with you, but you need to pay extra service of my trip. So that when you travel and when the seller invites you, you don't encounter any disaster. In the past, we have met a lot of problem. My buyer in Ghana, the gold was not perfectly assay, and we were being even blogged. I was even blogged, but I really don't worry at all because I didn't receive any single cent. I didn't scam the buyer. The gold is very mysterious product. And if you think that you buy gold and then you get the profit, your eyes is bigger than a dollar, it wouldn't work. As I've said in the previous explanation, when you travel, you need to spend money to buy a gold analyzer. You can buy online. Then when you have a gold analyzer, we will travel together and I will be sitting down with you and my seller. We will assay the gold that you are requesting to reserve, 20 kilos for example. You taste the gold 7 kilos because you are going to pay for that. Then after that, after the testing in local refinery, you double check with your own gold analyzer before you release the payment, bank to bank. Now there is a certain thing that I know because when you travel, you are only allowed to carry $10,000. Now, when I travel in Singapore or in Hong Kong, when I was working in the company here in Australia, my boss give me the card, they put money into the card and you can go to the ATM machine. Now, this is now my explanation very, very thoroughly. You don't need to carry money. For example, you are from Australia, the same as me. You go to the post office. You transfer money into the Visa travel card. Or if you are in America, you can go to your bank to have a travel Visa card. So in Africa, there is an international ATM machine. You can go to the international machine, you withdraw dollars, and pay the seller. Every day you allow $1,000 a day to withdraw cash into the ATM machine. So you are safe. So you're gonna say, okay, Mr. Seller, I'm with Wilhelmina. Well, Wilhelmina is here in Mali or in Ghana or in Cameroon. You bring the card. You go to your bank, and particular, you put money on this card, and then you go to the machine. You withdraw the money so that the seller can get the money out of 7 kilos. Now, how? Today, you're looking for 22 carats. Do not bank on it because I based today's price. The date today is September 26. Now we are selling 36 because we are giving you from 10 to 11%. 36,000, okay? 36,000 times 7. Okay, 36,000 times 7. That is 252,000. Now you go to your bank. You buy or the post office. You have a post office in your country. You ask the post office if they have a travel Visa card. You put the 250,000 into this card. Then, when you travel to any country or any in Africa, the seller's bank have an ATM machine. You can go to the ATM machine and withdraw the dollar or withdraw in current money, local money. Then the seller will believe that you have money in this card. Or you can bring some 8,000 because you're only allowed to take $10,000 when you travel because of money laundering. So you declare that you have money 10,000. But if you bring only 8,000, you don't need to declare. But here on the Visa card travel, you don't need to declare because that is your card. No, you don't have the money. So the custom will not see that you have money, but you have a Visa card ATM machine. Right. So this is how I explain to you. This is more than full corporate offer. I'll repeat again. Our gold is 22.4, from 22.4 to 24 carats. It depends. Right, that is the reason why you're gonna state what carat you are looking for, what purity, and what are you intend to use. Okay. Now, when I receive your letter of intention on your company letterhead, I will determine which seller I'm going to place you. Mali has a lot of gold. Mali is the third largest gold producer in West Africa. If you want in Cameroon, Cameroon gold is 23 carats. They have gold nuggets and bar. So I will travel with you, but I have to charge you my travel expenses. My extra service is not for free. Gold is money. So therefore, you need to think about it that this business is not for credit. This business is not a CIF. If you want a CIF, we will give it to you, but fair is fair. On 20 kilos, start as initial shipment. You can carry the 7 kilos because you already paid 250,000 belong to you. The seller will give you a separate export documentation that you pay the 7 kilos. The 13 kilos, the seller will carry with him, or he will ship it direct to the refinery. We give you the explanation because sometimes you are hesitant to trust the seller. The seller also hesitant to trust you. So I explain to my seller, let's do this. So my seller approved on my explanation that, okay, the buyer are hesitant because the seller might scam. There is no scam here. There is no cheating. The gold is a mysterious product. If you're gonna bring the gold to your refinery of destination, the gold will shrink. On 1,000 kilograms will no longer 1,000 kilograms. You need to have a purity of the gold witness 996.5, perfect, 99.0. So that is the reason why you need to tell me on your letter of intention so that I would advise my seller to calculate in order to smelt the dust gold in a perfect way, because the gold will shrink after the final destination. So instead of 1,000 kilograms of dust gold, my seller will provide you 1.4 kilogram of dust gold to smelt into bar, because that 400 grams it covers when the gold will shrink, because I sold the gold that we sell it to Dubai, the buyer from Australia. The 1,000 kilograms turned into 996.5, which is 99.0. That is perfect to make a gold coins. But if you're going to make into jewelry, I advise my seller in Mali to give an extra gram. So my seller in Mali understand what Ghana's problem. In Ghana, there's a lot of problem. Right. So in Ghana, there are 15 refineries in Ghana. I know, I've been in Ghana. I studied the behavior of the buyers and the seller. And I traveled to village in order for me to understand, because, oh, Africa is a lot of scammer. No, you will be scammed because the gold will shrink. So when you bring it to your destination, you're going to be disappointed. Because one of my buyers has been disappointed. I wasn't there until I traveled to Ghana. So I had a bad experience. I was even blocked. You must remember, my seller has been blocked. We never scam. We don't scam you guys. You need to understand. You need to do the research if you are going to make into business. Gold is a business. You make a profit. This is a lucrative business. So therefore, you see this video live in front of you. You see Wilhelmina. Wilhelmina is very transparent. I work for the seller. My seller is paying me when the buyer is happy. But if the buyer is not happy, the seller wouldn't be able to pay me because I work for them. I am the one who handle the marketing for the seller. If you are a joint venture, you want to joint venture with my seller, we welcome you because in Africa is huge deposit of gold and diamond. Huge, 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 huge. But the seller have no idea. That is why they invite me to come. Imagine the seller paid all my expenses just to sit down with them because they couldn't understand as well the foreigner. Why foreigners are there in their country? When I was sitting down with my different sellers, I invited them because I advertised that I'm in Ghana. So most of the seller came to me in Accra. And I listened to their frustrations and agony comes to selling. And when I was listening, I told them, your problem is very simple. You have a wrong approach to the international buyer. You have no idea that you are sitting down, your product is worth $1,000,000. I told them, buyer is hungry. That's why they are here in your country. Buyer is hungry to buy and you are hungry to sell. And Wilhelmina is hungry to service both buyers and sellers. Does that make sense? We are both hungry because this is business. So if you're hungry, we will feed you gold because bank needs gold, refinery needs gold, jewelry needs gold, everybody needs gold because gold is a commodity. Gold is a solid asset versus paper money. So gold and paper money is just like husband and wife. You need to court. You know, when you fall in love, when you like a woman or you like a friend, you need to court your friend. You need to give your friend an affection. Gold, you have to do that. You have to come to the gold. Now, in West Africa, as a foreigner, you and me are foreigner. I live in Australia. I'm Australian citizen. When you come to West Africa, the third world country, the owner of the gold expect a traditional gift, which is food, right? And then they worship the gold because they believe that gold is God for them. So when you travel with me, I understand. Because when I was in West Africa, I buy bread, I buy rice, I buy food to meet the villagers in order for the villagers to welcome you. But you are scared to travel by yourself. I'm a woman. I wasn't scared because I know the tradition of the third world country. I was born in the Philippines. I know when you come home, you bring gift to your loved one. When you visit in Africa, you bring gift to a certain friend in order to welcome you. Exactly the same. In Australia, we don't do that. We don't. In Australia, we don't give tips. In Australia, we don't give gift because Australians are not used to. But if you travel to West Africa, the third world country, it's a gesture of goodwill as a present so that the chief, the owner of the gold, royal chief, will welcome you. Say, this foreigner, they want to do business with us. Okay, you bring us rice, you bring us bread, welcome to our village because you are feeding the people. And the seller will give you the gold. The seller will welcome you and protect you. Right. So I've given you this full information. No longer paper money. We are now paperless. I introduced live video as a paperless full corporate offer. No. So when you send us a letter of intent, we will respond to you a letter of acknowledgement and the contract sent to the buyer directly. You're going to see the seller, contact, banking details, and etc. Do not be scared about your banking details because your banking details will be protected. It's a confidential. You are dealing direct to us. I work for the seller. I am not a broker. A broker just float around thinking about my commission, how much commission. There would be no commission if buyers and sellers are not consummated. That is the reason why I introduced this live full corporate offer. Last night, September 15, today September 16, Brisbane time, I had a 5 conference buyers stuck in Ghana, and buyer is also in Tanzania stuck. They couldn't find gold. Mhm. And the buyer only stay in West Africa 7 working days. Why? When you send a letter of intention, the seller will do the reserve of your order, waiting for you to arrive. Then when you arrive, we have a meeting together with me because I'm going to advise you to take me, but you have to pay my extra service, my airfare and hotel accommodation in order to guide you. I am just like a tour guide. You don't pay my commission because my seller is paying my work. I only charge you when you need me. But if you don't need me, I will do the online coordination live. You will meet my seller live video. Right. But if there is a problem, do not complain because I wouldn't be with you. But if I'm with you, I'm very strict. Whether he is my seller or not, I have to stick to the rules that the buyer and the seller understand, that you sign a contract prior to your arrival. You sign the contract prior to your arrival. Your passport copy, your banking details, and your business license, and your refinery account must be filled in on the buyer's information when we reply. We send you a letter of acknowledgement and the contract. So on your letter of intention, I already knew who you are and which refinery. Then we will send you the acknowledgement. After that, you return the contract, then we will invite you. Then the seller will send you the cable visa, arrival visa. No, in the airport, the arrival visa, it cost $100. But if you apply for the visa in your country, it would take 2 weeks. But the seller will apply the visa direct from his country, only 24 hours. Which one you prepare? You secure visa from your country, it takes 2 weeks, or the seller will send you a cable visa, takes only 24 hours. So, when you arrive in that country, you pay $100 inside the immigration. Because the original visa will attach into your passport. Exactly the same when I was in West Africa. Now, you paid it to the immigration with your passport and ticket, they will rubber stamp $100. So then, my seller will wait for you outside the airport. I have to arrive the day before you arrive so that I could welcome you together with my seller. I could supervise you and then have a meeting. Then they schedule to assay the gold because the 20 kilos has been reserved subject for your arrival. There is no upfront. As I said to you, we don't ask upfront money. You put money into this card, a Visa ATM card, a travel visa. You buy the particular, you put 252,000 into the card. When you arrive into the country, you just go to the bank and withdraw the money so that the seller can use that 7 kilos, 250,000 can use that to pay to his government, secure and pay that value added tax and pay export tax so that the government will give export documentation to the seller in your name that the gold is free of illegal activity, the gold that belong to the seller, that you have paid the gold, and custom declaration. There are 5 or 6 export documentation. So you're gonna say, I wanna buy gold, there's no upfront pay, then you're a bullshit because there is no free in this world. Excuse me if I say this to you because I have to be frank with you. Most of the buyers say, oh, you bring gold to Dubai, we will pay after final assay. You are going to launder. Why? I know. When I was in Dubai, I interviewed 8 buyers. They're all fake buyers. They don't have the money. They pretend to be a buyer, but they are not a buyer. The real buyer is the refinery. They are trader. They want to leverage. If you want to leverage the gold, you have to lay out starting capital before the refinery will pay you. because you are going to sell the gold to the refinery. The refinery will not lay out the capital. So you as the trader, you have an account to the certain refinery. You need to lay out the capital because the refinery will buy from you. Will buy, then there's a time the refinery will pay you as being a trader. And then the balance, you as the trader, you pay my seller because you pay the 7 kilos. The 13 kilos still belong to the seller, doesn't belong to you. So does that make sense? I think my video explanation is more than a paper corporate offer. Right. So this is now a live video, online full corporate offer. This is paperless. Live, you see Wilhelmina. I explain. I will summarize again before I close. This is a full corporate offer via video. Our gold is 22.4 carats, 95 purity in West Africa. If you are going to buy to Cameroon, Central Africa, the gold is 23 carats, 98%. So you need to state which one you travel. Now in Cameroon, maybe you will be dealing with so many brokers or some fake seller asking you to have the CMAC license. There is no CMAC license. Why? My seller is a license. I called up the Department of Mines. There is no CMAC license. The seller is the one responsible to secure a CMAC license. What you have to do when you travel with me in Cameroon, if you choose to travel to Cameroon, because I'll be the one to place you. Which one? Available stock. So, the seller will declare to his Department of Mines. The Department of Mines will give the seller all necessary export documentation to export to you as the buyer. You don't need to travel. You don't need to float around to link in to Facebook. You are talking to Wilhelmina. This is now online full corporate offer. Right. Do not believe on other people. Oh, Wilhelmina is a scammer. I don't know. I didn't receive money from you guys. I give you the full understanding that gold is not for credit. Right. There's so many scammers. Do you know what is the meaning of scam? The old version is lie, deceive, cheat. You are cheating yourself. Why you are cheating yourself? You are going to leverage it. You are trying to cheat my seller. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work at all. Especially if you're talking to this woman, because I know I was on the ground. I am very frank and very straightforward. If you want a real business, you get the gold. If you want a diamond, you will get the diamond. So going back to diamond again, exactly the same. On my Facebook, I created a virtual store. I have different seller, different page. Take time to listen to the video. Take time to read. And then when you feel comfortable, that's the time you come to Wilhelmina on Skype, live video conference. You can ask many questions. Alright? So therefore, if you are really, really a buyer, you need to have a capital. You need to have available fund in your bank account. One buyer said, oh, Wilhelmina, I am a buyer. I'm using the hedge fund. So therefore, you are a broker. Because the owner of the hedge fund is the bank. So the bank is appointing you to find gold. So therefore, you don't have the money. So if you are working, the money that you are buying gold for, money coming from hedge fund, you have to lay out. Because the hedge fund would not give his gold money. So you have to lay out in order to get the hedge fund. Because I already knew, but I will not mention the name of the person because he's a good friend of mine. So I'm just explaining to you about, we are a buyer, money from hedge fund. I don't believe that. You are not a buyer. You are going to leverage the money belong to the people who under one company. The company is responsible managing the fund from the hedge fund. So you are then a facilitator of the money belong to the hedge fund. If you are a facilitator, you lay out a little bit of initial down payment. Do not say, I want to buy gold, no upfront fee. Do not be in business if you don't have the capital. Don't. To mine gold, when I was in every village who mine gold, the seller hired machinery. The seller hired the workers. The seller needs a washing machine. They wash the muds into the washing machine. The seller needs water. The seller needs to eat. The seller has to feed the people. So you are asking, bring gold to Dubai or Australia or America. It wouldn't work. Because the seller is a businessman. The gold is cash. When you buy, he's going to pay his worker. So the seller he's going to run his business week to week. He has the need cash money. You have the paper money, but you need gold. So therefore you have to pay so that you can get the gold. If that makes sense. Believe me, if you don't have the money, my advice to you, do not waste your time. If you pretend to be a buyer, do not pretend to be a buyer. Just be transparent. Be honest. Yeah? Because believe me, I can detect if you are a buyer or not. I meet a lot of jokers. I call them jokers. So therefore, don't be offended with my explanation because it's true. It's true. So again, before I close, when you travel with me, you don't need to worry about money. This is the card. This is the card that you are going. I'm just using this card. Right? This is Go card. When you take a bus. I'm just using this. You go to the post office in your country. Tell the post office, I want to buy a traveler's Visa card. A particular, and then you put the money into the traveler's Visa card. Then you give it to the seller. You show it to the seller, okay, I would pay the 7 kilos. Let's go to the machine so that the seller can use the money out of 7 kilos. Excuse me, I have a phone call. Okay, no, sir, it was miss. When I was meeting, I'm talking to you, someone is calling me. So I think I already explained to you thoroughly. So come and see me, live video conference, or if you want to talk to me on the phone, my phone number is plus 614 0600 3528. On my Skype, Wilhelmina.Ford, WILHELMINA. Just a moment, someone is calling me. Good afternoon, this is Wilhelmina Ford here. I'll call you back. I'm on conference right now. You don't need to do. I told you that. No, you buy that. Okay? Someone is calling me. But anyway, I was interrupted. Huh.